What's going on, guys? NoleJP here. How you all doing today? Hopefully everyone is enjoying your day so far, wherever in the world you are watching this video at. What I have for you guys today is a little something different than what I've done on my channel in the past, but I felt it was something that I could share with you all since I'm all about giving you guys tips and helpful pieces of advice to be better at Call of Duty. So today what I'm going to go over is a best class setup that I carried in one of my better games so far this season in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Before we get started, in the background is a game of domination on Throwback, which strangely enough is a map that I've had trouble with for some reason to this point, but the more that you play these maps and you play them enough times, and something good is bound to happen, and that's exactly what happened in this video. I absolutely mollywhopped these kids, so I think you guys will really enjoy the gameplay. Also, if you're new to my channel, subscribe to keep up with everything I do. It's a blast making these videos for you guys to watch, and I appreciate all the support. So let's get right to it. What I thought I would do is get all the popular guns out of the way first on this series. The unfortunate thing about Infinite Warfare is that a lot of people run the same guns in most games because of the way that Infinity Ward set up the variants and how difficult it is to get some of the higher ones. So we'll take care of some of the items that are a little bit easier to obtain, and then we'll do some of the more tougher ones later once everybody gets caught up. So today we'll cover the NV4 Prosperity, which is one of the legendary variants that come on this model. It's the purple colored one. The other one is the Fallout version that carries the nuke ability, but as a lot of people don't have that yet and haven't crafted it in the salvage, we'll do a video on that one at a later time. So I will go ahead and throw up a quick screen cap of the class setup for you guys to take a look at. Feel free to pause the video and review it there before we get further on into this commentary. So let's go through each piece, and I'll give you a little rundown of why these Pick 10 items work so well together with this NV4 model. First, let's start with the gun itself. The first thing anyone should do when you select a gun is read the details that go with the gun. Don't just choose the gun because it's a legendary or epic gun. There's a lot of guns in this game that have plenty of good capabilities to it and are not legendary and epic. I don't really see the need, I should say, in having a legendary or epic gun when most of the time you're playing with guns that are not legendary or epic until you get them crafted. So don't go by just the legendary or epic stat. It's not that important. The NV4 Prosperity, though, does tell us that 3-player kill streaks earns a random perk. You can get up to 3 of these max, and it carries Stockpile, which gives you increased ammo stacking with extended mag. Down at the bottom, you can see that this thing is a built-from-the-factory laser. Accuracy is set at 85, which is already pretty high, decent damage at 60, range just shy of 90, a good fire rate, and okay mobility. Even though this gun doesn't have a super high fire rate, the fact that it's stable and the fact that most guns in Infinite Warfare are 4-hit kills doesn't really force you to have to adjust fire rates or damage that much to be effective, if at all. As you see in the setup, I do nothing with damage or fire rate, and I think it's just fine where it is from the factory setting. With the NV4, the best way, in my opinion, that you can increase this weapon is making it ridiculously steady, which can give you a huge advantage when getting shot at. So what I like to add on for attachments are Quick Draw, which gives you a +2 for accuracy, Foregrip, which gives you another +7 to accuracy, and a Suppressor, which gives you a further +3 on accuracy, but does take away 5 on the range. Do remember that range just started at 90, so going down to 85 really isn't that big of a deal. So it's perfectly okay to run Suppressor. So ultimately, when this is all said and done, you end up with 97 accuracy, just a minor knock to the range, everything else stays the same. Guys, I'm telling you, this creates an absolute laser of a weapon. Now, some of you may want to swap off Foregrip for something like Stock. Honestly, I've played with Stock on this gun. I don't find it to be that useful or that needed. If you play smart and don't try to be a haywire maniac running around without a plan, during the game, then using Stock really isn't that necessary. So with that, let's also have a quick chat about filling out the last of your Pick 10 with perks. For perk 1, I always take Ghost, regardless of what else I put on any of my classes. This game is very easy to pick up UAVs, and if you don't have Ghost, you're basically a sitting duck. Second, I'll take Dexterity for the ability to swap out mags faster. This game is so fast-paced that getting a reload completed quickly could be the difference between getting killed or having the ammo needed to pull off multiple kills and stay alive. For perk 2, I take Scavenger. Scavenger is so important in my gameplays, and you'll see it a lot in people who do videos on YouTube, especially if you're always in the action. The last thing you want to do is have to monitor your ammo count when you are trying to stay alive. Now, if you remember back at the start when we were looking at the basic gun stats, we were given that stockpile is already included with the gun, which increases ammo. I didn't talk about this, I should say, in the gun attachments, but using Scavenger saves you from having to burn one of your pick 10 items on extended mags, so that you can put on something else of your liking, whatever it might be, whether it's, you know, stock or laser sight or whatever the case might be. It just helps you save one item there. And finally, I run dead silence on almost every class I build. The jetpack sound in this game, in my opinion, is so distinct that you can hear it from a far off distance and instantly keys in the enemy for exactly where you're at. This is very prevalent if you're using a good set of headphones, or even if your speakers are turned up. You basically can tell exactly where everyone is. The combination of suppressor on your weapon and dead silence for the rest of your movement gives you an advantage over most everyone in the game if they're not running something similar. Now, I know a lot of people like to use marksman or gung-ho because of the acquisition of targets benefit or shooting on the run, but it's really not necessary to carry those unless you're just going in as a rush-happy maniac. I prefer to stay off the grid as much as possible, which definitely has helped with better gameplays as far as KD goes and moving more freely through the map. To complete the class setup, we definitely cannot forget about the rig that I carried in this game, which is Synoptic. I really like this rig and spent most of my gameplays using it because it carries a speed factor. The equalizer keeps a weapon in your hand when you're not using your gun and carries a pretty decent range with it as well. For the trait, I went with the middle option, which is propulsion, which gives improved thrusters that allow energy to recover faster. When you're getting, or what should I say, when you're trying to evade enemies in gunfights or when flying through the air, the worst thing is to get caught with a used up thrust meter, which can stop you from climbing a wall or sliding to the side or climbing up into a window, whatever the case may be. It allows you to kind of save your life, escape a little bit, continue to help your team to achieve the goal of the game. Along with the rig, I did pick UAV, counter UAV, and Warden as my 3 kill streaks. I'm not going to go into a whole lot about kill streaks in this commentary. We'll talk about those in another video when I rank kill streaks from least effective to most effective. Guys, this class is ridiculously good, and I promise you that if you commit one of your class setups to the one I covered here today, you will see absolute improvement in your game. The only thing I can suggest that can also help out your game and make this class even better is to turn down your horizontal and vertical sensitivity. I play on a 5 for each one of those. If you have your sensitivity at 10 or more, you're creating unnecessary steadiness to your shot. 5 is about as low as I would want to go because anything less than 5 takes away from some opportunity to turn on someone who's shooting at you. If you're running stock on your gun, then you don't need it any higher than 5 or 6 either, because stock basically turns your sensitivity from a 5 to an 8 or 9. Trust me, there is always different ways to offset settings in one form or another with every Call of Duty. The trick is getting them in the right order. The best players trial and error with settings in the first few weeks of the game and then perform minor tweaks to their setups as the game evolves and different buffs and nerfs come out with different patches and so forth, throughout the season. I wanted to put this video out early because you never know when those buffs and nerfs will come out. When they do, I will do reviews of my setup videos and help you guys make the necessary adjustments to stay on top of your game. So with that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this brief commentary on one of my favorite class setups at this point in the game. I hope you learned a thing or two and will give this class setup a shot. Not everyone has enough salvage to pick up the NV4 Fallout or the one that's even above that on the epic level at this point, or has not been lucky enough to get it from the supply drops. So I felt this video would appeal to a bigger mass of COD fans at this early point in the game. I have quite a few more best setups videos in the works, but definitely let me know in the comments below what gun you're using and would want as a best class setup video to be done on. Like I said before, with all the variants, there's a lot to cover, so let me know what would work best. The gameplay in the background will be wrapping up pretty soon, but keep watching to the end to see the pounding I put on these guys. I was quite proud of it myself, I can't lie. So subscribe to my channel if you like this video, and definitely to keep up with everything that I do going forward. Have a great rest of your day, everyone, and I will catch you on my next video.
Bravo secure. Victory. Report to command for debrief.